Okay, this is a basic tutorial on how to make a face mask. You're gonna need 2 pieces of cotton, and these are gonna be cut to 10 inches wide, 7 inches tall. So 2 pieces of cotton. This happens to be home deck fabric that I had, and I'm sorry, it's really ugly, but I'm just using it at the stash. So I need those 2 pieces. I use a rotary cutter to cut these out on a mat, on a measured mat, so that I get them straight, but you can cut them with scissors, obviously. Then you're gonna need 4 straps, because this particular is using tie straps instead of elastic. Some people are allergic to elastic. I don't even have any elastic, but I have fabric that I can use. So I'm using a serger here. So what I'm going to do is just fold these in half and then press them over and then serge the edges. If you don't have a serger, you can do the same thing except zigzag this edge, or you can do the fold over method where you take about a 2-inch strip and you're going to fold it in half like this. Get my iron hot again. Finger press it like this. And then undo it, and then fold these to the middle like this. And then fold that over like this. Iron that, and you'll take that over to the sewing machine and run a stitch right down there. This makes for thicker straps, which you don't really need, but I'm just doing mine with the serger because it's faster. So we're going to just fold this in half like this, and I'm going to just press that over. I'm going to do that to all 4. Okay, now we're over at the serger, and we're going to take the edge that's raw, this. The nice thing about a serger is it's going to give you nice uniform straps because it cuts off the excess. So I'm going to pull it with the presser foot. I'm going to line it right up with this edge so it gives me only that width. And I'm going to give her a rip. And just run that through. And it cuts off the excess and leaves a nice trimmed edge. Okay, run out our excess, and then I take a pair of pinking shears and trim this edge so that so it's not raw, like this. Trim the other edge, even though one of them is going to be inside the seam. Okay, and then we're going to do that with all. Leaves you a nice edge there, and we're going to do that with all 4. Okay, we've got all 4 of our straps done, so we'll set those aside now. We're going to take our front side. We're going to put that right side up, and you're going to go a 1/4 inch. I like to put all my straps the same way, so with the edge going up like that. So I have about a 1/4 inch off like that. Do the same thing on all 4 corners, about a 1/4 inch up like that. Bunch those up in the middle. Here. Over here. Those are going to rest in the middle, and you can clip this or pin it down. I'm to a point now where I just put this on top and clip them as I go. So right sides together, so right side down on the back. Okay, and then you'll take clips or pins. And you want to start by pinning where your straps are so that those don't move. Let's stretch that out a little bit so that it comes all the way to the edge because you got poofy in the middle. Okay, and you want to push these up out of the seam so that they don't get caught in the seam when we go around. Same thing up here, push those into the middle so they don't get sewed up in the seam. Now, speaking experience on that. Okay, now we're ready to go to the sewing machine. Okay, so now we're going to sew all the way around this edge, but we're going to leave room to turn. So we'll skip a part and we'll come back and get that later. But I always start on a corner. Take out my clip. And we'll do about 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around, and you got to make sure that that doesn't move on you. Okay, so we'll start in back stitch when we start. I've got not a narrow, a tight seam, but not real big either. Okay, so we're going to start here, and when you get to the strap, we're going to back stitch over top of that, and then keep right on going. If they don't meet exactly, it's okay. Let's get close. And we're going to sew all the way around. Make sure that strap lines up. This will be takers. No. Back stitch over top of it. Let's do one stitch this way. And it doesn't have to be exact. Make sure those straps are out of the way. Okay. And this is where we'll leave our hole. So I'm going to go a couple inches in. Then I'm going to back stitch and go back over top of it, and then leaving my needle up, press a foot up, I'm going to pull out some thread, and then skip about 2 or 3 inches, put your press a foot back down, start sewing, back stitch, and then keep going. That creates our hole. Okay, get that out. Always leave your needle down when you're turning and go further. Okay, I'm going to back stitch over our strap. Rolling. Back stitch over the last one. Okay, just push all those in and make sure they don't get caught again. This one you can just go all the way down. And then back stitch. Done. Okay. Trim our tails. Trim your tails where you turn. Okay. We're going to clip our corners. Make sure you don't hit the edge there. Just trim those corners so they're nice and tight when we turn it. Okay. Now, find our hole here, and we're going to turn it inside out, or right side out, I guess it is. All this will come out. Just push it through the hole. And because the straps are in your corners, they help to pull your corners out for you. Like that. On the bottom. So there's our mask. Turn that off in a minute. Okay, so now we're going to go over to the iron board and press this so that it's all nice and flat, and you're going to make sure that where your hole is, that you roll that over like this and press it, and then we're going to sew all the way around. Okay, now this is all pressed, so we're going to top stitch this all the way around at 1/4 inch. Okay, trim our tails. Now we need to do our pleats. So we're going to gather like this to where you tuck under about an inch or so, where it comes down like that. And you're going to grab that in the back and do the same thing again and leave a little bit of a reveal to where it looks just like that. That's your pleats. And then you're going to take a pin, and I put a pin on each side. Because if you don't, that'll walk all over the place. And I'm also going to take this over and press it. Okay, now that it's pressed and pinned, we're going to stitch right over top of our existing top stitch. There. Okay. Stick that in. You gotta go slow and methodical because you're stitching through quite a few layers here. Make sure that you use a heavy gauge needle too, to be able to cut through all of this jazz. So we're going to back stitch a little bit, and then we're going to go just like that, ease through it, back stitch. Okay, take our pin out, do the same thing over on the other side, and this one can be a little bit more difficult because you're going uphill, so you're going to have to help the presser foot along when you start getting to that third pleat. Starts like normal. Then when you get up to that next pleat, you need to help the presser foot along. I'll get to the next one. There we go. You have to lift up, and when you're with your needle down, just get your presser foot over top of that big pleat so that it sews through it. Stitch. Okay. Trim our tails. Make sure we trim them all the way around this side. And there you have a face mask, and of course it's pleated, so we'll put it over your face and do that. Okay.